On September 10, 2025, conservative activist Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA, was fatally shot while addressing a crowd at Utah Valley University. Reuters. The shot rang out just 20 minutes into his American comeback tour. Chaos erupted instantly among the roughly 3,000 attendees. Supporters tried to shield him, others fled in terror. A loud reminder, words on stage can still become bullets. Campus security rushed toward the stage. Medics attended to the wound. He was rushed to Timpanogos Regional Hospital in critical condition. Wikipedia. Moment by moment, grief and fear flooded social media. Politicians from both parties called for calm and condemned the violence. Flags were ordered at half-staff. President Trump announced Kirk would receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom posthumously. America suddenly recognized how fragile political speech can be. A violent punctuation to too many heated arguments. Authorities arrested 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, identified as the suspect. He faces charges including aggravated murder, possible death penalty eligibility. Robinson was apprehended after his father turned him in. Official statements say the attack might have political motivations in its root. The nation braces for the fallout. Utah Governor Spencer Cox called it a grim day for democracy, declaring it a political assassination. Turning Point USA called the shooting a targeted attack on conservative free speech. Calls for domestic political violence accountability grew louder. Civil liberties groups issued statements urging restraint and unity. The fabric of American public events felt torn. Charlie's widow, Erica Kirk, made her first public address since the tragedy. She described explaining the loss to their young child. "Daddy is on a trip with Jesus." Through tears she vowed, "His movement will not die." Turning Point USA's fall campus tour would go on. Strength, faith, and derision, blending as grief took center stage. Vigils sprung up in cities across the U.S., New York, Sydney, and more. In Manhattan's Madison Square Park, nearly 200 mourners gathered, flags waving. Thousands turned out in Sydney's Hyde Park to honor his life. Each gathering carried candles, prayers, and calls to reject violence. A divided nation came together to grieve. Immediately after, a wave of fake footage and false claims spread online. Some alleged political affiliations of the suspect that were unverified. Claimed that Democrats opposed a House prayer for Kirk. Debunked. Authorities urged caution and fact-checking amid emotional chaos. In the age of instant outrage, truth became endangered. Despite the tragedy, Turning Point USA reaffirmed its mission. America Fest and their campus outreach would carry on in December. Staff committed to keeping Kirk's voice alive in youth engagement. The organization framed them as guardians of a legacy. Purpose driven by grief and fueled by defiance. Kirk was national in reach, a bridge between MAGA youth and conservative media. His loss left a gaping void in right-wing mobilization and talking points. Candidate endorsements, campus campaigns, funding, now at risk of fragmentation. Some Republicans rallied, others quietly recalibrated. His death became a political earthquake. Utah Valley University closed campus events for security reviews. They promised enhanced protections for political speakers and rallies. FBI and local law enforcement increased presence. The weapon used, a high-powered bolt-action rifle, sparked debate about open-air event safety. Public universities wrestle with risk in a polarized era. Watering. Kirk leaves behind his widow, Erica, and 2 young children. Publicly surviving becomes part of their legacy. "He adored college students," said one family member. "Young people, they were his heart." Now, they face life without the one who shaped their family identity. Former President Trump called Kirk a giant of his generation. He ordered flags at half-staff and vowed to give him the Medal of Freedom posthumously. Other conservative voices echoed, "We won't let hate win." Kirk's death became a rally cry for political resolve. Martyr, hero, target. Speeches from across the aisle called for peace and the end of ideological bullets. Many Americans, regardless of politics, mourned a fellow citizen silenced in public. Calls to de-escalate political rhetoric, tempered by grief-filled media. This event forced reflection on how beliefs become explosive. One man's microphone turned into history's sorrow. As Kirk's body lay in state, the world awaited justice. Tyler Robinson's arraignment was scheduled within days. Turning Point staff organized relocation and event maps for safety. Talks began about posthumous honors, foundations, and memorials. This was no fleeting tragedy. It's now a turning point. Federal agents from the FBI and ATF joined local authorities at Uvalde. Forensics teams combed the rooftop and surrounding area where the shot was fired. Surveillance footage was collected, and digital evidence was seized to trace the suspect's steps. Investigators revealed the rifle used was a high-powered bolt-action weapon. Now, the hunt intensified. Utah Governor Spencer Cox condemned the killing as a political assassination. Calls for justice spread across the country. Protesters demanded stronger security at public events. The consensus was clear: political speech must no longer risk lives. Leaders from both sides of the aisle spoke out. President Trump ordered flags at half-staff, while other senior politicians called for unity and condemned political violence. International heads of state also offered condolences, calling it a grim signal about rising extremism. Charlie's widow, Erica Kirk, spoke to the nation in tears and fury. She called her grief a battle cry, vowing to continue his mission. She expressed gratitude to Trump, J.D. Vance, and supporters, and confirmed to Pusa's tour, and his legacy will endure. The Guardian. From Manhattan to other cities across the globe, supporters held candlelit vigils. Nearly 200 mourners gathered in Madison Square Park, waving flags and chanting slogans. Memorials sprang up as a collective act of remembrance and defiance. False claims spread quickly. Some said the suspect was a registered Republican, others claimed Democrats opposed a prayer in Kirk's name. Authorities debunked those. Videos circulated showing people incorrectly identified as shooters. Officials urged caution against spreading unverified rumors. Authorities arrested 22-year-old Tyler Robinson after identifying him through digital evidence and tips from family. He's charged with aggravated murder, possibly facing the death penalty under Utah law. He had no prior criminal record and is an unaffiliated voter. If convicted, Robinson may face capital punishment under Utah's stringent laws for aggravated murder. Prosecutors argue the political nature and premeditation of the act qualify it. Public safety and deterrence are central to their case. In response to the tragedy, many colleges postponed or canceled political rallies. Some leaders postponed appearances outright, citing risk. Legislation discussions about better event protections and new security protocols began. Graphic footage of the shooting circulated online. Platforms placed warnings or age-restricted content, while some media outlets refrained from showing it. It sparked debates about ethical journalism in covering real-time violence. Utah Valley University closed its campuses temporarily, with all classes and events suspended. Students were told to stay off campus while police secured the area. It was a somber demonstration of the fallout of political violence. Following the tragedy, numerous voices, politicians, clergy, educators, delivered sermons and speeches urging Americans to lower the temperature of their rhetoric. Many warned that hateful language can lead to real violence. Far-right leaders in Europe blamed liberal rhetoric for fostering an environment of intolerance. Some nominated Charlie Kirk posthumously for symbolic honors. Globally, the incident is being framed as part of rising political violence everywhere. President Trump announced plans to award Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the nation's highest civilian honor, after his death. It was symbolic recognition of his influence on youth politics and conservative ideology. Charlie Kirk's death is now a national stain on political discourse. He was 31, a media-savvy mobilizer of conservative youth. His final words, "Counting or not counting gang violence," echo in the halls of a divided America. Whether loved or despised, his legacy is cemented. What comes next is the real test. Will America heal or fracture further?